Do I really need to buy a sample? Is it just a waste of money spending $50 just to sample a product? And that's if it's lightweight. Should I really pay up to $100 to $200 just for a sample? Well, much like whittling down your perfect supplier, you also need to do the same for your perfect product. So hang around, and in this video we're going to discuss the 5 reasons why you need to order a sample. Alright guys, welcome to the video. So today we're going to be discussing the 5 reasons why you absolutely need to buy a sample before you invest in a product. Nowhere ever would you go to a shop and buy a product without it being on the store floor. So it's no different from buying a sample from your supplier. So reason number 1, why you absolutely need to buy a sample. Well, unfortunately, you don't need to just buy one sample. You need to buy a sample from every single supplier you've been in communication with that you are actually interested in. If you contact 20 suppliers, don't just go ahead and automatically assume you need a sample from each of those. So if you've been following along with the FBA mini-series that we've been doing, we found a product that's doing $70,000 in revenue, and then we contacted 9 suppliers. Of those 9 suppliers, we are interested in 4 of those suppliers. So from those 9, we're interested in 4. Those are the 4 that we would order a sample from. So why should you order a sample from each supplier that you're interested in? Well, it's going to help you identify which product is the highest quality, because we don't want to end up investing in a product that is low quality, because if we invest in a low quality product, the chances are we're opening ourselves up to negative reviews and negative feedback. Reason number 2, why you need to order a sample before actually buying the product. This is going to be the only time, ideally, that you should ever see your product. And there are 2 exceptions to this. First of all, if you actually have a need for your own product, then you can order your own product. Second is if you have product returns and you get them shipped to your address. Other than that, you shouldn't ever be handling your product. So this is the only time that you have, especially before it reaches your customer, to actually look at the product in person. So reason number 2 why you need to order a sample is because actually having a physical product gives you the opportunity to test the product. So point number 1, we're seeing if it's high quality. Point number 2, we're now testing that quality against certain standards. So depending on what your product is going to depend on what tests we use. So for the example of the reusable produce bags that we found in our case study, we're going to be testing things like, will our logo fade if we put it through the wash? How high quality is the cotton or the threading? Does it come apart after it's been in a wash? Can it be tumble dried? All of these things. So you're going to get all of the products that you've ordered, put them through these various tests and see which one comes out on top. Again, this is alleviating the chances that a customer is going to be able to leave a negative review. So the more you mitigate the chances of that, the higher your chances of receiving a higher review. So reason number 3, why you need to sample your product before purchasing. This allows you the early opportunity to start optimizing your product listing on Amazon. So when you actually have a physical product that you've sampled, this gives you the opportunity to send that sample personally to a professional photographer that you have hired. When you actually own, or when you actually have the physical product in your proximity, it means you can deliver that product personally to your photographer. So what I would advise people do is to find a local photographer and deliver it to them personally. So they're going to have artistic license and creative license with your product, but you being present create better photos because they're going to be more accurately representative of what you're looking for. You're going to have more of an input in how those photos are produced. At the photo shoot, it's going to, maybe you can even take a few photos first and show your supplier and tell them why you like the photos like this or like that or whatever it may be. So reason number 3, it allows you to optimize your listing early on. So reason number 4, seeing the physical product is oftentimes so different to actually seeing it in a photo. So this has happened with every single photo I've ever had taken for my product, is that the photos looked okay, but seeing the product in person actually looked 100 times better. And that's not because of poor photography, it's just the way it is. It's the way the light captures the product and all these other things that just make it look superior in person than it does in photo. But that's not always the case. Sometimes the product looks worse in your hands than it does in the photo. And when that's the case, that's when you're more likely to get negative feedback. So when you're holding the physical product in your hands and you're looking at it, you can see all these tiny nuances with the product that you might not be able to see with a picture. And if your photographer or your supplier has taken a photo that is intentionally hiding these small details that are otherwise small in the picture, but in person they're actually quite big, you are increasing the likelihood of you receiving negative feedback. So it's really in your hands here. It's up to you to do the best job possible. Even though you're not the ones taking the photos, you're still in control of what the photos should look like. So it's really your responsibility to make sure that you're seeing the product in person and you're relaying that information back to your photographer of how the product actually looks when I'm holding it, and does it look different in the photo. If it looks too different, or if it's hiding these details, or if your supplier is intentionally hiding small details in the photo because it's too hard to fix in production, then that's information that you absolutely need, because that's going to affect your sales on Amazon. So point number 5, why should you bother getting a sample before actually investing? And this is quite a big one because this is going to save you money. However, this is going to rely on your personal tolerance for risk. So I would argue that if you have sampled your product and you have communicated well with your supplier throughout the production, it mitigates the need to hire an inspection company. So if you've been in good communication with your supplier, it's common practice to ask for a virtual tour around the warehouse. I like to do this sort of every week of production so I can see the progress from the beginning right the way through to the end. So I will get them to Skype me and walk around where my product is being manufactured. Every time there's a new step in production, when they go to when they're adding a color or whatever it is they're adding, when they're stickering barcodes, I will say jump on Skype and show me what you're doing, and then show me once it's finished in that stage. If you've done that and then you've sampled that product once it's finished, that is highly mitigating the need to pay for an inspection service because you have inspected it yourself. No, you're not inspecting it in person, but like I said, this is down to your tolerance for risk. I personally don't inspect my products unless it's a particularly expensive shipment and I want to make sure that it's all 100% perfect. But generally speaking, if you've seen the process, if you've seen the product being made, and then you've ordered a sample, another great tip is order a sample at the start and then order a sample at the end. So say you want 500 products manufactured, tell them to manufacture 501 and then sample that one at the end. So you've got a sample before production, it's probably a demo, and a sample after production. This way it's going to really allow you to see just how high quality their production is, and that is going to greatly mitigate the chance or the need, for an inspection service. So that's going to save you a couple $100 on inspection services. So those are the 5 reasons why you absolutely need to order a sample. So what we're going to do now quickly is just go over what tends to happen if you don't order a sample. So there are a few things that tend to happen. So the obvious risk of not ordering a sample is that you are potentially ordering a faulty product. So the implications of ordering a faulty product are, there are a few implications to ordering a faulty product. The first is obviously you've just wasted your money. The second is your product isn't going to rank with Amazon's algorithm because they don't tend to promote products that have a bad average rating. And by bad, I think it's 3.5 stars. I think that's the cutoff point between where they stop advertising your product. So anything lower than 3.5, I don't think you're eligible for the choice badge. So you're going to waste your money. Amazon won't promote you in their internal algorithm. You're going to lose sales because people aren't going to buy a product that has bad reviews. In losing sales, it's going to affect your organic ranking, which then means in turn you're going to have to spend even more money on PPC just so your listing is still showing on page 1. So in short, you're not going to make as much money in sales, but you're going to spend more in advertising. So I mean, it's really up to you. I mean, weigh it all up. I would definitely order the sample. And like I said, maybe you can think of it this way. If you order a sample and you spend, let's say, $150 on the sample, but you then, because you've ordered that sample, you're then happy that the product is high quality and you don't order and you don't pay for an inspection service, you've essentially broken even. So you've not really spent any money, because what you were willing to pay for an inspection, you spent on a sample, because you need a sample anyway, but you don't necessarily need an inspection. So an inspection in my eyes is optional, but a sample is essential. So, you know, weigh everything up. It's up to you, but I would absolutely recommend buying a sample before you invest. So I hope you liked the video. The Facebook group is growing quite a lot now. We're nearly at 150 members, so that's a really good milestone. I hope you guys like the new background. It's a bit cheesy at the moment. I literally drew this the other day with like some gel pens my son got for Christmas. But if you guys saw the word collage I made in the Facebook group, then I'm thinking about putting that on the poster behind me. Just some random squiggles about motivation and, you know, stuff like that. So anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. Like, share, subscribe the video, hit the bell so you're notified, and join the ever-growing Facebook group. And I thank you all so much for viewing, and to anyone that's in my group, and to all of my supporters that have subscribed to the channel so far. You guys motivate me to continue, and I will see you guys in the next video.
That our bonded hearts could withstand.